Hi there. Thank you for joining me in this video speaking to steaming, Yoni steaming, for conception and fertility. My name is Kit Maloney. I'm the founder of Kitara. Our home base online is kitaralove.com, and Kitara makes beautifully designed, expertly crafted products for safe and easy in-home Yoni steaming. So we've got some great Yoni steam seats and organic herbs and beautiful candles, robes, and blankets, all available on kitaralove.com. So if you're looking for the accoutrements to safe and easy in-home Yoni steaming, you can come and check us out. But for today, I want to speak to this really important topic around using a Yoni steam practice to support your fertility and your desires for conception. So let's start with step one, which is welcome and hurrah for this desire to bring life in through your body and out into the world. That is a really big thing to step into, and to have that desire can be so tender and evoke quite an initiatory process. And so I'm with you. I honor that. I celebrate that. And I also want to name the fear that is sometimes involved in stepping into that desire. And that this journey toward conception can be a really nonlinear, rocky one of highs and lows. So I honor that as well. And thank you for setting this intention, for coming to this video and feeling into if a Yoni steam practice will be of service to you at this time. So a Yoni steam practice for fertility and conception is really going to involve two different phases of Yoni steaming. There will be a Yoni steam practice and protocol that you'll adopt to prepare your body for then actively trying to conceive. Okay, so you have first this container that involves a couple of months of steaming to prepare the body. And then you have a separate container where you are Yoni steaming to support the intention of active conception. This is when you are actively trying to conceive. They are separate, and they are both incredibly important, and they have very different protocols. So when you are steaming for preparation, you are steaming with a schedule and with herbs that are primarily focused on helping you balance your cycle and reach your own optimal menstrual cycle. Meaning that if you have a short cycle, you are on a steam protocol that's bringing you back toward 28 days. If you have a really long cycle, if you have a lot of stagnation and pain during your bleeds, then you're using a steaming protocol to bring you back toward a 28-day menstrual cycle that involves less or no pain during the bleeding times. And if you're working with steaming and you have fibroids, this is when you name it, you're steaming for preparation of conception, but your protocol is going to be a fibroid release protocol during that window. Because again, in this container of steaming for preparation, our goal, our intent is preparing the body to then have an easy journey in the active conception container. Okay, so this is when it's a great opportunity to consult a certified or trained vaginal steam practitioner so that you can get on the best protocol of steaming for you in steaming for preparation. And then once you are having this beautiful, aligned, balanced menstrual cycle, then is a great time to start steaming for your active conception journey. And again, I just want to name, because I think I might not have, that the best thing you can do for your conception journey and your fertility is to take the time and care to have a balanced menstrual cycle. And so you're not delaying here. You're in service of the intention to conceive, but at this time, that highest service is really around steaming to prepare. And that is really beautiful. And you can be in both. You can be steaming to address the current issues in your cycle, whilst knowing that you are steaming in this wider container of preparing to conceive. Super beautiful. I also honor that by the time we set this intention to conceive, it can be the case that not only are you ready to have conceived yesterday, but you might even want like toddlers tomorrow. And so it can be hard to hear that really the best thing to do first is to steam for preparation when you already want to be somewhere. What I will say to that is that this is a gift to the whole journey. Getting yourself in balance before you open the active conception window is a gift to the whole process and will help you along the way. So in many ways, take the time that you take at this point to steam for preparation and balance is going to shorten the time that you will be steaming when you're actively trying to conceive. Okay, so yes, we're back to having a great, beautiful, balanced cycle. And now we're steaming to actively conceive. And this is when there are some pretty major contraindications. So this is when we no longer steam outside of the follicular window. So a cycle has 4 phases. You bleed, and then after you're done bleeding, you start your follicular window, which is like your inner spring. And then you approach your ovulation window, which is your inner summer. And then you go into your inner fall, which is your luteal. And then you come back to the bleed, which is your inner winter. So when you're in this active conception container for steaming, it means that you're having sex or intercourse or some sort of insemination during your ovulation window. And so when you're in your ovulation window, it's usually about 1, 2, 3 to 4 days. And it's going to be indicated by some noticing of some cervical mucus, which is this like magical fluid that keeps the sperm healthy and alive in the body as it travels up into the uterus and hopefully meets an egg. So you're going to notice some of that cervical mucus is a really good sign that your ovulation window has started. You also may want to take a luteinizing hormone strip test in the morning, and that will show you that this luteinizing hormone is present. And that's the hormone that is activated in your body when your body is dropping the egg into the uterus. And if you're on this active conception journey, I do recommend also taking your basal body temperature as well, which will have a slight increase and also support your knowing that you're in your ovulation window. But by the time you're in your ovulation window, you no longer want to be steaming. You want to be focused on having this juicy, wonderful connection with a partner, or dropping into your intention and having as relaxed and celebratory of a journey as possible for you that month with any sort of fertility treatments. And then you're going to be in that ovulation and have your beautiful intentions and be in practice with trying to conceive. And then you're going to go through luteal. And you're going to go through a couple of weeks, right? So luteal, if you weren't successful in that month cycle of getting pregnant, or you're going to have the egg start to be fertilized and start to implant into the uterine wall. And you're going to know by the occurrence of whether or not there is a bleed. And so that bleed is going to indicate that it didn't take, and that you're going to try again the next cycle. So if you start to bleed and you confirm that you're not pregnant, and I do say that both, because you want to be really careful that you're not misinterpreting your menstrual cycle bleed, which would show that you are not pregnant, with implementation bleeding. So implementation bleeding is actually a really great sign of pregnancy because it's just a little bit of bleeding usually, although sometimes it can really resemble a bleed. That is the result of the egg implanting into the uterine wall, which we absolutely wanted to do to have a healthy full-term pregnancy. So when I say that you want to make sure that you are either bleeding or you have proof that you are not pregnant, that's why I'm mentioning both aspects of that. So if you are not pregnant, then it's safe to steam after you've stopped bleeding before your ovulation window opens. And that again is known as the follicular phase. And it is going to be a great thing to steam for a couple of days after you stop bleeding to really give your uterus that cleanse, so that there isn't any stagnation there that might block your intentions when the ovulation window opens again. Okay, and then of course, if you've steamed and then you don't get your period and you are pregnant, you then don't want to steam anymore because steaming is there to help release and cleanse the uterus, and you are pregnant now and you want to keep that as a holy, sacred, warm, nourishing, safe space. And it won't be good to steam until you're at your 38th week of pregnancy, in which case you may consider steaming to induce labor. And you may be working with a practitioner and that's not the right call for you. And then you may deliver and decide, you will deliver, and then decide if postpartum steaming is a great thing for you, which I'm biased, of course, but I would say it was. Postpartum steaming just has these incredible benefits that we have some information over at the blog at kitaralove.com. But we also will make more videos to share all the amazing effects of postpartum steaming. So here we are back at steaming for fertility and for conception. I believe we've covered this. One question that I feel might be present is what herbs to use. And the herbs that you're going to use are going to be the herbs that are going to be in service of the balancing of your cycle. So it goes back to that preparation phase. So it's actually going to be more connected to what your body needs to have a balanced cycle than it is going to be directly with the intent of conception. So that's why we actually don't have a fertility blend at Kitara Love, but we do have 5 custom blends so that you're going to get the blend that's going to be most supportive of you and your body as you prepare and cleanse the uterus and balance your cycle so that your fertility is optimized and you have this beautiful journey of the active conception window when you will not steam outside of the follicular window, which I hope you were saying to yourself as I was saying that. So not outside the follicular window, which means when you're actively trying to conceive, your Yoni steam practice will be of great service after you stop bleeding and before your ovulation window opens, and no other time in the process. If you have any other questions, leave a comment below. I will be honored to answer them. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I really appreciate it. So we are over at kitaralove.com. We're also on Instagram at bykitara, at bykitara. I'm Kit Maloney. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am wishing you so much health and joy and sending you love on this journey you are on with bringing forth life into the world. Thank you. I love you. Thank you.